I've been asked the question, what do you do when your kids won't stop fighting, otherwise known as sibling rivalry? It's a common thing that we all experience. I'm Roselyn Owen. I am the daughter of Scottish immigrants, so I'm a firstborn Australian and find myself in a very big family here. I was raised in Sydney, one of five kids, and I was smack in the middle. So I had lots of experience of sibling rivalry and also have three children of my own. Plus, on top of that, I have worked with children for over 3 decades in my local community, so I had lots of experience of children fighting. So I'd love to share with you my three critical tips about how you actually deal with the behaviour of when kids won't stop fighting. What can you do in your home, your group, or classroom? And this is talking about the behaviour. I find it best to deal with children's behaviour and then looking behind the behaviour, what might be going on for that child separately. So, the three tips I'm going to share with you are going to help you deal with the behaviour whenever it arises in the classroom or at home quickly and easily. Once you've dealt with the behaviour, of course, we wait for an opportunity when children have calmed down. We are calm as well as the adults, and we can have a heart to heart conversation with them and talk about what went on, what was going on for them as well. Let's jump right in and discover three tips that'll help you every single day. Sibling rivalry is quite common, and in fact, not all rivalry is completely bad. Sometimes kids learn lots of skills by having little tussles and little things going on in the home. So don't be too alarmed about everything that might be going on, all right? But when it becomes a problem for someone, it becomes a problem for the parent or for somebody else, then you know there's something to be done. Here are my three brilliant tips that I know will help you in your sibling rivalry at home or in your extended family or even in your classroom. Number one is celebrate the differences and limit competition. Number two, kids can fight out of sight. Number three, when you do have to referee, do it at a price where it costs the kids something and they learn a lesson. Our first one, celebrating the differences within the family or your group or classroom, because this is really important. We are all uniquely made and made for a difference where we actually can complement and help one another. And it's often common that we want people to be like us, but helping kids understand that within your family unit, within their group, within their classroom, there are differences, and that's to be celebrated, not to be belittled or not to be pulled down. So we would do this sometimes similar easily around the meal table, which is a great time when we encourage kids to sit down, and the dinner table was a great place for storytelling and for lots of learning. And we would talk about things how each of us was different, how we had a preferred love language and how that made us feel. And you can find out those resources on that website, Love Languages for Children. You can talk about the different giftings that we all have and how sometimes we're good at one thing and good at another. And we keep celebrating and highlighting differences and that they are welcome and that's okay. One little game that we often would play, very simple game, One Thing I Like. It's as easy as it sounds. We sat around the meal table and we would say, what is one thing you like about, say, Dad? And everybody at the table had a turn of saying one thing that they like about Dad, or one thing they liked about their brother or their sister or their grandparent. And it was such a powerful way to actually celebrate and rejoice in differences and encourage kids to look for the good in one another. Second thing there is limit competition. Sometimes competition really fuels rivalry. In a way, it can backfire onto us. I know sometimes we like to use it to challenge our kids and to stimulate them, but limit it and just watch that you don't do too much where it actually fuels the rivalry and comes out in another way. And of course, the last one there is avoid comparison. Because don't we all hate that? Comparing our kids, comparing academic records, comparing achievements, comparing lots of things about shape or size. Just watch out for that and that you keep celebrating who they are uniquely. Second one, When your children, particularly young children, if they're fighting and annoying, sometimes it can be a negative way that they are trying to get attention from a sibling or attention from us parents. And I know I have found this to be the case in my family. So when they're fighting out of sight, I could see into my front yard through my windows beautifully. So I said to my children, "You're welcome to continue to fight outside so long as it's not a problem for me." And of course, I could watch them and make sure that things never got out of hand. And so we want people to be safe, but children often will not fight when it's not getting negative attention. So try that and see if that eliminates some of the sibling rivalry that's going on, but making sure, of course, everybody is safe. Number three, for managing the behaviour in this, is when you actually have to be the referee or umpire. And it does happen for all sorts of reasons, whether practical, physical, or emotional, where things are getting heated and you know you need to intervene. And this is how I would recommend that you do it, is really avoid being the judge and the policeman here, because you never win and you never get all the factors. Don't believe the stories that they told you about he said, they said. You know what I mean? Just don't get into those things, but actually say, "I'm willing to referee and umpire this so that you can resolve it and everyone can be safe, but it will cost you. And I'm happy to take payment with money or with time. And you can maybe do some jobs for me and get back some of my time. And my rate is about $20 for 10 minutes. Is that okay, guys?" And then give the kids a choice about how they would want to repay that for you. Now, and of course, I go into lots more detail in some of the workshops around this concept of children owning their own problems and solving them. But offering them to be an umpire and a referee is really a wise idea as well. And things might get solved, but also they begin to learn maybe they need to work harder at solving their own problems as well. Now, lastly, on this whole topic of sibling rivalry, which is very common for all of us parents and also siblings, look behind the behaviour. What do I mean by that? Well, often when emotions are heightened, kids can't think clearly. It's all about their emotions. So you can't have these conversations in the midst of the battle. So you have to wait for a moment where emotions have calmed down, their thinking brain is back there, and you can begin to talk about what went on and what went wrong and what is going on behind that. But you need to look for an open window with your child to do that. And don't ignore it. Have those brave conversations when there is an open window and you can speak heart to heart with your child. And even if you have to go down the pathway of going, well, do they need to reconcile with their sibling? Is there anything to forgive? Is there anything to repair, so that they begin to own their relationship with their sibling and keep it healthy and happy all the way through? I hope you enjoyed these 3 quick tips. If you would like to know more about some of these parenting tools, please reach out. I would love to be able to serve you and your family.